Hi, it's O.T. Carlson here. Continuing my quest to track down all of the Star Wars movies on 4K so I can give them a review. Looks like some of these might be out of print and kind of hard to find, but I did pick up one of the more recent releases in the Star Wars saga not terribly long ago in 4K, that being Star Wars Episode VIII, The Last Jedi. Now, before I begin this review, I know this is a very controversial, very divisive film. I do enjoy this film. I know that not everyone does. I will allow comments down below if they're constructive and kind comments. Disagreements are fine. I will not allow any rude or insulting comments. If you post a rude or insulting comment, it will be removed and you will be blocked from posting on my channel. Anyway, without further ado, I'm going to unbox this release and share my opinions. There's the slipcover. That looks very nice. Got the core characters with a nice red background. There's the spine text on the slipcover. Back cover featuring a pivotal scene from late in the film. Here's the inside of the packaging. I like how this is totally different than what's on the slipcover. It's not just a rehash. There's the spine. Back cover. There is a digital code included here from Movies Anywhere. We do get 3 discs inside the package. We get the film in 4K Ultra High Def, the disc featuring Rey wielding a lightsaber. Underneath you have a Blu-ray disc of the film which features Kylo Ren standing in a First Order weapons hangar. And then there's a bonus disc with C-3PO, and I believe that's Rian Johnson, the director of the film. The Last Jedi, of course, picks up where The Force Awakens left off. Starkiller Base has been destroyed, but the Resistance doesn't have a lot of time to celebrate because it's not long before the First Order's out for revenge, and their troops are swarming the Resistance base, wreaking havoc, taking revenge for the loss of their weapon. Rey has gone off to try to find the long-lost Jedi Master Luke Skywalker. Leia is continuing to run the Resistance, leading the troops against the bad guys. Unfortunately, the First Order is now able to track them through light speed, and the Resistance, what few fighters survive, find themselves stranded with the First Order just inches away. And of course, Supreme Leader Snoke, the leader of the First Order, has the Resistance within arm's grasp, and Kylo Ren finds himself struggling with many decisions as he connects with Rey and finds that things might not be exactly what they seem on all fronts. This is, again, by far the most divisive of all the Star Wars movies. There were some polarizing choices made here, and I will say this much. It is the best of the 3 sequel trilogy Star Wars movies. Does the movie have flaws? Absolutely. But it's the one movie in the sequel trilogy that wasn't afraid to try new things and go into some strange, unexplored, uncharted territory, while at the same time staying true to the roots of these characters and the mythos of Star Wars. I mean, one of the things that's been really treated controversially is the treatment of Luke Skywalker, who here is stranded on an alien planet and has no desire to rejoin the battle, having considered himself a failure after being unable to train Kylo Ren. Honestly, I don't think people quite understand that this is totally in character for Luke Skywalker, because he became a very powerful Jedi Knight following the Battle of Endor, as we beautifully saw demonstrated in an episode of The Mandalorian. So when he finally failed at something, he fell from grace, and he didn't heed his own warning to Emperor Palpatine about overconfidence being a weakness. Characters needing to learn lessons is something of an ongoing theme throughout this film. Of course, we have Poe Dameron, who is a cocky, hotshot flyboy with a wicked sense of humor, and when his actions result in a lot of losses in a battle, he finds himself demoted, and then when Princess Leia's out of commission, he finds himself at the mercy of Vice Admiral Holdo, portrayed by Laura Dern. Now, I won't lie, I'm not a huge fan of the Holdo character, and she's not overly sympathetic. She doesn't really get to do anything heroic until her final moments, and by then, it's too little too late. I do agree that Poe being put in his place is something this movie needed, but I wish they would have done it with an existing character rather than a one-and-done character who's really not particularly interesting or all that sympathetic. The other members of the cast all get pretty good performances. Of course, we have the new generation of characters. Poe, played by Oscar Isaac. Finn, played by John Boyega. and Rey, portrayed by Daisy Ridley. Rey, of course, here trying to explore her origin, find out who her parents were, and why she's so strong in the Force. There are some interesting mysteries explored here, and there's even some completely unexpected moments later in the film with Kylo Ren questioning his place in the First Order and what Rey thinks is ultimately going to happen, but is that how things are going to turn out? Do things ever turn out exactly the way he expects when it comes to the world of Star Wars? There's a ton going on in this movie, maybe a little too much. There is a side trip to a Monte Carlo-style resort planet, which is an exotic, interesting world that's certainly in line with the Star Wars universe, but it does feel like kind of an unnecessary side trip. And the final battle at the end of the movie, even though it includes a really nice twist and maybe something of a redemption arc for Luke Skywalker, it does feel like padding on top of what's already a very full movie. The Last Jedi is something of a mixed bag, but it's certainly not this terrible movie that everyone claims it is. I mean, if you go on Rotten Tomatoes, this even has like a 91. So again, I do think it's a very misunderstood movie. It has some great action sequences. There are some interesting moments of character development. And it's the one movie in the sequel trilogy that wasn't afraid to go into uncharted territory and give audiences some slightly shocking, slightly unexpected moments. Unfortunately, the follow-up to this movie, The Rise of Skywalker, retconned a lot of this movie and played it way too safe. That said, though, I can certainly still recommend the film, but again, I know it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. There are at least 2 different 4K discs of The Last Jedi, one of which has Dolby Vision, one of which does not. The one that I have is the disc with Dolby Vision, but I think it actually predates the one that lacks Dolby Vision, because they reissued the movie when they were reissuing all the other movies. However, regardless of what version you buy, the film does look very good on 4K. One of my favorite things about the sequel trilogy is when George Lucas sold his company to Disney, they went back to using practical effects and considerably less CGI, and as a result, the movies look far better. Those prequels have a lot of CG effects that have not really stood the test of time, but going back to practical effects and the like, and combined with, gorgeous modern cinematography, The Last Jedi looks absolutely fantastic in 4K. I don't think fans will be disappointed with how this one looks at all. As far as bonus features go, there are quite a few of them on that bonus features disc. I mean, there's quite a few deleted scenes that actually didn't make it into the final cut of the movie. There's a featurette with Andy Serkis, who of course did the motion capture and voice of Supreme Leader Snoke. There's a feature-length documentary and some scene breakdowns. So it's good to see they didn't just give us a bare-bone package here. Again, The Last Jedi is certainly not going to be everyone's cup of tea. I understand there's people who absolutely love this movie and think it's a masterpiece, and there's some movie who hate it and refuse to even believe that it's a canon part of the Star Wars universe. I, for one, think it's a very good movie. Maybe not a great movie, but certainly one that I think doesn't deserve all of the hate it gets. I could certainly give this one a recommendation, but again, I know it's not for everyone. How about you? What are your thoughts on The Last Jedi? Feel free to comment down below, but again, keep it civil and kind. And also remember to subscribe to my channel for more content. I'm always posting new videos. And make sure you give this one a like if you found it helpful. I'm Taylor T. Carlson. I'll see you next time.